it's been so long since I've made a video. Don't even remember what to do anymore. Right, I'm a millennial, making stuff for millennials. I'll just change my YouTube artwork to say that, shall I? Okay guys, so there's not many people that I think you need in your life, but this guy here, Matthew Walker, is one of them. Before we get into the video, I'm gonna make a promise to you actually, that if you watch the whole video, you're gonna think completely differently about your sleep and about your health in general. I hope you're ready to be scared. Okay, so Matthew Walker is a sleep expert from Berkeley and he really knows his stuff about sleep. He's done some really interesting talks online. A lot of them are quite dense and kind of hard to get into.
That accumulates toxic beta amyloid protein.
But he's done this really interesting podcast episode with Joe Rogan and he often talks about how incredibly bad it is to not have enough sleep and like the real serious lifetime danger of not sleeping enough. This stuff is super scary, believe you me. So this Joe Rogan episode's quite good. Joe Rogan says wow like almost 100 times because he's just overwhelmed with everything that Matthew Walker is saying about sleep.
Wow. 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 Whoa. Wow. 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 Whoa.
Okay, I want to start a new segment called You're Probably Thinking to Yourself. So you're probably thinking to yourself, honestly, it doesn't really affect me if I don't get enough sleep. Sleeping less does not affect me. You are wrong. Do you know how much sleep we actually need? Matthew Walker says this.
Wow. Now, how many hours of sleep should you get?
Somewhere between, somewhere between 7 to 9 hours. Once you get below 7 hours of sleep, we can measure objective impairments in your brain and your body.
Do you know what objective impermanence is? I had to look it up because I didn't know. Objective impermanence is the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they cannot be perceived. So when I Google image objective impermanence, this is what comes up. Kids who basically can't understand peekaboo, right? By the way, this is my absolute favorite stock image of a kid with objective impermanence. The kid is just like, where's my toy? Why are you doing this to me? So yeah, not good if you don't get enough sleep. You're probably thinking to yourself, I don't actually need that much sleep. I don't need 8 hours. I can get by on just 5. Wrong.
I mean, and you'd be glad to know that then, men who sleep 5 to 6 hours a night will have a level of testosterone which is that of someone 10 years their senior. So a lack of sleep will age you by a decade in terms of that critical aspect of wellness, virility, muscle strength,
10
sexual
years.
performance.
That's incredible.
He starts most of his talks with this actually, and you can hear how, to begin with, everyone's kind of laughing.
I would like to start with testicles.
And then very quickly, the laughter just dies down.
In addition, men who routinely sleep just 4 to 5 hours a night will have a level of testosterone which is that of someone 10 years their senior.
So you're probably thinking to yourself, I can get by in 6 hours, I don't need 8. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Even by sort of 7 days or even 14 days of 6 hours of sleep, your cognitive performance just nosedives like a dart into the ground. And it doesn't show any signs of leveling off, as if there is no asymptote that it could keep going. And by the way, people should know that after 20 hours of being awake, you are as impaired cognitively as you would be if you were legally drunk.
And maybe after watching that, you're thinking to yourself, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I don't need 8 hours sleep. I feel fine after just 6. I'm kind of the 1 in 100 people that is fine with doing that. That brings me to my absolute favorite line that Matthew Walker says in this entire Joe Rogan podcast.
Now, what about the people that say that they sleep, they go to bed, they sleep 5 hours, they wake up and they feel great?
Yeah. We have the number of people who can survive on 6 hours of sleep or less without showing any impairment, rounded to a whole number and expressed as a percent of the population is 0.
Wow.
I didn't know this, but when the clocks change at daylight savings hour, the time, when time changes, people genuinely die. Less people wake up the next day because they've got an hour less sleep.
Now, in the spring, when we lose an hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks.
What?
In the fall, in the autumn, when we gain an hour of sleep, there's a 21% decrease in heart attacks. So it's bidirectional.
Wow.
That's how fragile and vulnerable your body is to even just the smallest perturbation of sleep.
1 hour.
1 hour is
That's
all it takes.
insane.
Yeah.
And he's not talking over like a series of like weeks and months that this is like a trend. He's saying that the clocks change and the day after 24%, I think. Yeah, the morning after 24% increase in heart attacks. Are you scared yet? So when I said at the start that you need Matthew Walker in your life, that's not really what I meant. What I meant is that you need his advice on sleep and the fact that you should be getting more sleep. I know that my sleeping pattern and schedule and routine is awful right now. It's pretty bad. And watching these videos and listening to these podcasts and reading his book actually, Why We Sleep, I think it's what it's called, has genuinely scared me into trying to get a good night's sleep. And I scripted out this video and I wanted to say more things, but I think first of all, the clips that I've shown can really illustrate it and show it better than I can say things. And second of all, I was writing this late at night and I genuinely was scared after all this stuff that I basically stopped writing my script so that I could get a better night's sleep. Yeah, if you do want to check out the podcast episode with Matthew Walker and Joe Rogan, it's episode 1109. I'll leave it below, or if you just type into Spotify, I'm sure, or Apple Podcasts, Matthew Walker, Joe Rogan, 1109. Then you'll find it there. I actually listen to it to help me fall asleep at night now, just because they're talking about sleep for like 2 hours. It really helps relax me, believe it or not. I'll also leave a link below of his book, Why We Sleep, which is also pretty good to check out. And one of my tips, if you did want one, is that if you're struggling to fall asleep at night, is read his book on sleep. Maybe not go too far into it though, because you will get a little bit scared with all the stuff that he's saying in it. But yeah, hope you guys got something from this. I know I sure think differently about sleep now, and I hope you guys do too. Right, I'll see you guys next week for another video. Hopefully, probably, definitely. See you next week.